Hi, everybody. Welcome in Donor Relations Guru Happy Hour. So excited to have you here with us on today's broadcast. So excited to have you with us. I hope you are all doing well. And I hope this broadcast finds you happy and healthy. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. It's Lynn here talking about fundraising. I hope you all are well and joining us on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube. And I need to think of today's question. Oh, goodness. Bail me out. Somebody give me a question. Let's see. Today's question of the day, I need something like significant, but I don't have anything significant. Oh, maybe what are you binging on TV or movie? What's the last great thing you saw? I watched The Chair, for those of you in higher education. I watched The Chair on Netflix, but what are you binging? What are you watching? I mean, of course, I'm watching Ted Lasso. I feel like Ted Lasso is going to be the costume of Halloween. I don't know. But what are you watching lately? What's on your binge list? My friend wants me to watch C. Another friend wants me to watch Clickbait. Oh, For All Mankind. Ooh, that sounds like is that a spacey show, like an astronaut? Hopefully that'll be an astronaut show. So, Jessica, I watched the 9/11 documentary in one fell swoop. It was so good. So good. Okay, Erica watched Only Murders in the Building. Ooh, that sounds good. Haley's finally, Outer Banks. Outer Banks is fun. Outer Banks is a lot of fun. So I really, really like Outer Banks. You're right, Lindsay. So many. Can you believe it's been 20 years almost since 9/11? I think everybody remembers where they were and then and when. Okay, Julie, I tried 9 Perfect Strangers and I couldn't get into it. Maybe I need to give episode 2 a try, but episode 1 freaked me out a little bit. So Iris is watching Murder Mysteries. White Lotus was super good. I love the blonde. Okay, Sharon's taking it back to the Harry Potter movies. Stacy, I could watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel 20 times over. I mean, I think I've seen it 7 times through, and Mrs. Maisel makes me so happy. The Bob Ross documentary, I haven't watched that. West Wing, Kevin, you're right. Every year I watch West Wing, but now, ever since Omar on The Wire passed away this week, I kind of want to rewatch The Wire. But I watch West Wing once a year. It makes me dream. Yeah. Good Witch for the fall. I know. I'm gonna, when we get closer to October, I'll ask people what their Halloween costume is gonna be. But yeah, Succession is a good, well acted, excellently written show. Yeah, I just wanted to see what's out there, what people are binging, I have not watched Good Witch, so I don't usually watch. Is it spooky or funny, or I don't do a lot of, I'm such a stuck in the rut. Like, I watch the same things over and over and over again. So, yeah. So if that'll tell you anything. Oh, it's a rom-com. Okay, Carly, 9 Perfect Strangers again. That's 9 Perfect Strangers. That's 2 people. I tried the first episode and it freaked me out, so I left. Like, when I saw Nicole Kidman, I was just like creeped out by it, so I bolted. So I guess I need to go back and try 9 Perfect Strangers again, because I loved White Lotus. Like, okay. And I love Melissa McCarthy, but Virgin River. Oh, Melanie, my friend Angie loves Virgin River. Like, she loves it. You loved The Wire. Bloodline is amazing. So is The Affair. If you've ever watched The Affair, so good. Borgen, a Danish political series. Ooh, Ava, such a big brain on you. Yeah, we're talking about what are we binging? Movies, TV shows. College football's back, so that's what my Saturdays are dedicated to. It was quite an interesting thing, to see a stadium full of 100,000 people and no social distancing in sight. But God, did I miss college football. Sandy, I do. I love Ted Lasso. I can recite scenes from it. Like, I'm obsessed with Keeley and Roy Kent and all the characters in Ted Lasso. The Christmas episode, I watched it twice in a row. It was so good. The episode where the little girl has bad breath. I mean, just, ooh, Sharon's watching a reality series about Churchill's secret spies. Oh, you got to get Ted Lasso, Eva. Ted Lasso, I feel like everybody needs a little Ted Lasso in their life. We all need to believe, like Kevin says, we all need a little hope. And Ted Lasso football is life. Like, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, okay. You don't have Apple. Kevin, I won't say this on a recording, but I know somebody that has Apple Plus. You might have to use their login. And my eye is having a seizure. So Ted Lasso, yes. Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek is a classic. It's not my thing, but everybody loves it. So, The Good Fight. The Good Fight is really good. So, yeah. Yep. Okay, so keep talking about what you're binging. I also love a Real Housewife. I'm a Real Housewife girl. So if you ever need anybody to talk to you about Real Housewives, I love silly TV sometimes. It gives me my brain vacation. But now I'm fully into college football season. So, yeah. Yep. So, what's going on in your fundraising world? We've hit September. Do you remember? We have hit September. It is busy. People are, I don't know about y'all, but since we had a holiday day on Monday, I feel like people are trying to cram 5 days into 4, and I'm just not here for it this week. I have had meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. And in the comments, there's goat cheese balls and roll tide all in the same sentence, and it cracks me up. So I'm a South Carolina Gamecock, so go SEC, ABF. And some of you are like, ABF, that's anybody but Florida. But I'm sure they're lovely as well. Thoughts on cryptocurrency? Am I a cryptocurrency trader? Is that what you're asking? Yeah. Keep coming with the questions on fundraising. Thoughts on cryptocurrency? There are some organizations that have completely embraced it and now accept it on their website through a third-party vendor. I certainly don't think you need to run out and prepare yourself to accept billions of dollars in cryptocurrency. I think cryptocurrency is going to be the gift in kind of the new century. In terms of, it's kind of a gift and people have to figure out what to do with it. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't run out there. But be careful. Be careful with it. There's lots of rules and regulations so it'll be very interesting. So we've had a question about events. Karen asked about, are we canceling events? I think it's where you are. I think if it were me, I would not be having, I say that, and then there's a stadium full of 100,000 people. So I just don't think there's a need for donor events at this time. I don't think the risk I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, which I say all the time. I say that all the time. Is the juice worth the squeeze on these events? Certainly if you're in a place where, maybe you want masking, maybe you want, but I just don't know how you can justify it at this time. And if it was, I'd have 100% masked. I wouldn't serve food. It'd be outside. I don't know. I mean, gosh, does it feel like Groundhog Day to you guys? I feel like it's Groundhog Day. I can't imagine holding an event when the healthcare professionals are so strapped right now and our hospitals are so full and all that good stuff. So, I'm just giving you my honest feedback. So masks is the best thing we can do, but also understand that your numbers are going to be lower. So Ashley is virtual. So Ashley works at a healthcare, a medical center, and they're virtual only. And I think, maybe you look at what the healthcare organizations are doing in your space, in your area, and follow them. But yeah, maybe in the future, but right now it's bad, you guys. And I know there are people who are like, we're gathering anyway. And again, like I said, I watched the college football this weekend and my entire thought was split between, God, that pizza's good. Sorry, that was my internal monologue. Oh, I'm so excited because I order pizza. I have like a whole tradition, right? And so I kept thinking, God, this energy is amazing. And oh my goodness, there's 100,000 people in a stadium, right? So I'll say this, if you're going to do it in person, outside, not a long event, right? Masks. If you're going to host an event indoors and you have a space for 200 people, you fill it with 50 people, right? You've really got to be reasonable about this. And I know that there are people who are like, it doesn't matter, I'm coming anyway, and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. But you have to think about the other people involved. It's not just the attendees. It's the people who have to work the events, right? And they have families and they may have children that can't get vaccinated. So who are we putting at risk? Again, if you've been following me, I'm very risk conscious when it comes. Heck, I'm on an island that's not open because of COVID. And we don't have COVID here, although there's supposed to be a reopening plan coming soon. Kevin, you should have stopped at LA does not have carbs, period. And then it says worth the calories. So Angie, I like that you closed your ticket sales. That's probably responsible. And remember that when you're having an event in COVID times, which is now, you have to have a list of everybody in the event. So digital check-in is important for you. No more of this spreadsheet and hoping we know who's in there. You've got to know for contact tracing purposes, right? You really need to get a hold of that. So the smaller the event, the better. And again, I just feel like I know we're not in Groundhog Day, but it feels like we're in Groundhog Day, and hang in there. But I always say, trust your gut when it comes to making these decisions. And it's not the end of the world if you don't have an event. I know that there are a lot of people that are eager to gather. I know that it might be a lot of energy. There might be a lot of pressure, but we did a year and some change. I don't know how long you did in your area, but it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen. So take a deep breath and know that we can still fundraise without events, but I would hate for your event to be a super spreader or something like that. So nobody wants that to happen. Nobody wants that kind of press. So, and again, every place is different. Every leadership is different. It's not my place to sit in judgment. It's my place to give you my opinion. So Julie says we've got in-person homecoming and graduation next weekend. I hope people are masked, and I hope they're vaccinated. And, I'm coming to the thought of what is our world going to look like when it's just COVID is present the entire time? Like, I remember last year, I remember last year saying, one day we're going to be able to be told ollie, ollie, oxen free, and I just don't know that that's going to be our reality, especially those of us in the United States. So I don't see it. I don't see a day when we're like, we're COVID free, until something radical would have to change in order to get there. So I just that's my opinion right now. So hey Candace, I hope you and the baby are doing well. She's growing a baby. So I'm not good with pregnancy stuff in terms. So if you cancel an event, should you turn it into a campaign or try to postpone? So you're in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is facing a huge surge right now. I can't advise you to postpone. I would turn it into a fundraising campaign and be done with it. Because I feel like postponing is just kicking the can down the street. I love to kick a can. But I think that in a place like Oklahoma, I don't know that in a month or two it's going to be much better. And, a lot of us, not me, but a lot of y'all are dealing with the Delta variant. Well, guess what comes after Delta? Like, there are other variants of this coming. This one's just a really bad one. We also have colder weather coming when people are more indoors. We even have flu season coming. Like, I don't know, y'all. I am not I'm not Anthony Fauci, but I'll tell you, again, my advice always leads towards less Mu variant is coming. Oh Lord, Mu, like that makes me laugh and cry at the same time. I don't know what happened to Lambda, but apparently Mu is coming. I feel like I'm trapped in Revenge of the Nerds, and all the variants are named after the sororities and fraternities, Kevin. So, yeah. So Sharon and Candace are in the same state, but in different locales. Remember Lambda? Okay, Lambda has hit you in Texas, Ashley. Okay. They skipped a couple letters in the Greek alphabet. See, Lauren, I don't know the Greek alphabet well enough, so bless it. I just know Alpha. Wait, what is it? Alpha, Delta? No, I don't know. I know it's Alpha and Omega. I got that down. Brain on this girl is rock solid. So, so Lambda's coming next. Okay, well, good times. I think, it'll be interesting to see how these large gatherings, because they're, the biggest gatherings are in states where they don't have high vaccination rates. So, Kevin is surprised they aren't blaming the LGBTQ IA community for the Lambda variant. That's hilarious. So Sharon took a stand and is not learning the Greek alphabet. Good for you, Sharon. She's sticking with it. What else is going on in your fundraising life? Right now we should be planning end of year solicitations. And it's hard because, one of my clients, we had a meeting the other day and we were like, what's going to be the theme for our end of year solicitation? And we're like, hope times two, what are we doing differently? End of year is something we're thinking about. Hey, Lauren, can you talk a bit about best practices for naming funds? Either annual or specific fund designations, meaning guidelines and minimums, there's lots of best practices. Can you give me a direction on into? So can you help me? Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Like, what would you like to know about namings? What can I help you with? So that you get what you need out of this. Just let me know. Guidelines to think about when choosing a name. Well, normally the donor chooses the name of the fund. We don't, we can make suggestions and things, but normally the donor is the one kind of making those choices. Trying to, if I can help you, if we can unpack that a little bit more, let me know. Tracy wants to know what my thoughts are on what's up and coming in digital fundraising. So, and I'm a big proponent of digital, but remember that online giving still only makes up 19% of all giving out there, right? 81% of giving happens in an analog way. So just wanted to give you that reality there, is that the majority of giving is offline, but what's new in online giving? Text. So using text as a channel, using digital does see an uptick in AI. I agree with you, Kevin. Let's see what else is happening in the digital stream. Drip campaigns are really, really popular, or welcome series campaigns, where once a donor gives, you see a welcome series of emails that happens kind of automated, a workflow of emails to welcome them on board. I think digital will see, and if it's not already, digital is headed way in the direction of monthly giving. So if your digital cannot support monthly giving, is not optimized for monthly giving, and then automated workflows based on personalization. So, sending kind of like a choose your own adventure, personalized. I think we are already there in the monthly part, Kevin, but many universities are not. Many universities are not. Nonprofits are, but universities are not. Alexis, any tips for planning a Giving Tuesday campaign? Know that you're wading into a very crowded space, Alexis. So I think that it can't be just a Giving Tuesday campaign. And if you haven't yet, the resources at givingtuesday.org are absolutely fantastic. So I highly, highly recommend that you take advantage of the trainings, the resources. I mean, they are second to none at givingtuesday.org. And they're free, right? So they're absolutely free. But know that you're wading into a very crowded space. My inbox literally explodes on Giving Tuesday and the days leading up to it. So what are you going to do to stand out? So I would say, do you have a matching dollar amount? Is there some sort of challenge that you could offer? How are you going to attract people to your organization? I think Giving Tuesday is great, especially for donors who might come back to you or donors you already know. Do I think it's the number one way to acquire donors? Probably not. I think there are people that are already in your sphere. So just something to think about there. So I hope that helps you. Let's see. Zoom does have a donate now button, Yolante. Thank you for pointing that out. I think that will be effective for virtual events. I wish it had come about, a year ago. But yes, Zoom does now have a giving button into their events. So that's really great. Let's see. Becca, we moved offices. Yay! And because you probably needed more space because social distancing. And I found a box of in appreciation gifts with our university's logo, bookends, coasters, ornaments. Can you talk a little bit about best practices for donor acknowledgement gifts? Yes. Don't do them. So there's a Yale study, and we have it posted on our website, that says that anytime you do a thank you gift, their next donation goes down 48%. Those are great things for volunteers, great things for students. Do not give them to your donors. Donors don't want things with your logo on them. They're not personalized. Again, just say no to tchotchkes. Just say no to, just say no. Just say no. And so that's not why people give. So maybe that would be a good volunteer engagement tool, or I don't know, students like them, things like that, but I wouldn't give them out. So yeah, keep them. Sharon says there's an interesting article about women and their Giving Day activities from the Women's Philanthropy Institute. Ooh, Sharon, we should go find that link and share that with people. I will get on that. Carly, ideas for transitioning an emailed PDF style end of year impact report to a more engaging format. Video, choose your own adventure. Carly, it depends on what kind of resources you have. So if you have some resources, a microsite is the best thing you can do that has video, articles, things like that. If you don't have that kind of resource, you could do an Adobe Spark. You could also email a PDF in a more appealing format. So ThankView now allows you to email impact reports to donors in a beautiful on-screen display. So that's another option. The other thing to think about is, rather than having it be a end of year impact report and it contain everything, could you break it up into snackable content? Boop, 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 boop. So small snackable content dripped out over time, rather than here's your impact report. If you miss it, it's not our problem. I hope that's helpful. Okay, let's see. Let's see. That's a good tip, Kevin. 2 to 3 more departments involved every year. So Ashley gave the link for Giving Tuesday. Alexis, if you saw our recent donor relations guru hero, it was from Whitworth, my client. I love them to death. They're just amazing people. And what they do is 6 months out from their day of giving, they kind of do we know what you did 6 months ago and we're so proud. Here's the impact. And we stole that idea from the University of Michigan. I've seen it done. You can do 3 months out. I like to do it after events as well. So say you have a virtual event or an in-person event. 3 months ago today, we had this event, and here's what we've done with the money since. Love that. You can find that on our social media as an example. It's in our Donor Relations Guru Heroes, which makes me think of the idea, Ashley, we should have a page on our site dedicated to our Donor Guru Heroes, like a heroes gallery. Thinking. Where can we find that study? Oh, there's the Women in Philanthropy one, and we should have the Yale. I can find the Yale study, Ashley, if you haven't found it. Yale study giving. Thanks. I have to remember how to find it. It's also on our. It's also on our, the counterintuitive effects of thank you gifts on charitable giving. It's like a real study, like it's no joke, like, journal, peer-reviewed, kind of data-driven. So I'm going to post it here. That's me posting noise while I'm trying to do Facebook Live. So this is why I have Ashley and those to help. Lindsay, I fully agree about not giving donors tchotchkes. Don't want to encourage quid pro quo anyway. Correct. But what about mailing boxes with locals goodies to donors to accompany a virtual donor recognition event? That's different, Lindsay. So these are items that you've crafted for that event as part of their experience, right? So that's a fantastic thing to do. Cocktail recipes, things that are tied to your organization. So like if you're a university and you have a student dairy farm, maybe sending them some cheese or things like that. But if you can order it out of a catalog and you're putting a logo on it, no go, no go. Nobody wants that stuff. And so it does find homes. It also finds homes in Goodwill stores. So yeah, it doesn't. So Karen says we've begun quarterly updates with digital links to stories on our website. I love that, Karen. Send us an example of that at info@donorrelationsguru.com. We would love to see your examples. So love that. Love, 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 love. Okay, let's see. Erica, hey Erica. When a donor names a space, we order and install a donor recognition sign. I know this is sticky, but can't remember what percentage of a gift can be used for the recognition. The cost of materials have significantly increased and we're seeking a new vendor. I've got a great vendor for you, Erica. Email me and I'll send them to you. Second of all, we like to say that for recognition of a gift, it's 0.5% up to 1%. And that is the lifetime of the gift for recognition events. We try to keep it under 0.5%. The big spenders are spending 1% of the gift. So, if you have a $100,000 gift, that means you can spend about $1,000 before it gets icky. So, and again, it depends on your organization. It depends on, but that's usually the rule of thumb. This is a thumb. I've got two of them, and that's the rule of thumb. So, yeah. Yep. So, good question. Okay, Kevin, should donor recognition walls that were posted pre-name change keep the old college logo or be updated with the university logo? Let's not have donor walls. Sorry. I think if you're going to change from a college to a university, so I actually had this happen. My brother went to Georgia Southern College before he went to Georgia Tech, and they had this beautiful entryway, and you drove in, and the hedges spelled out GSC. And when he was there, it changed from C to U. And I remember the staff members moving the plants, the hedges, to make them a U, right, and plant themselves some new hedges. And I thought, wow, they went all the way to the hedges. I think you should go all the way to the hedges. So I would update it with the university logo or remove the donor recognition if it's no longer current. Thoughts? Lauren, what about logo stuff for Giving Society recognition? Well, Giving Societies are kind of anyway, but no. Nobody needs stuff branded with a Giving Society on it. What is somebody supposed to see that and be like, oh, you're a platinum blah, 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 and then be like, yes, I am. It's purposeless. Instead, take that money, invest it in the impact. When I was at NYU engineering, we took that money and invested it in a scholarship fund. And then every year at the event, we told donors about and had them meet the scholarship recipient. And that was so much better. And they were so much happier for it. But Giving Societies also, Lauren, are falling by the wayside because they breed inequity. It's basically a FET for the elitists. So yes. Yeah. So again, we look at donor recognition based on behavior, not dollar amount. And that's really the shift you want to make in your recognition for donors, is move away from dollar amount and move away to behavior. So first-time donors, monthly donors, donors who increase, plan giving donors, things like that. Iris, do you have best practice tips for creating individual stewardship plans for $10 million plus donors? Individual stewardship plans, individual engagement plans, whatever you want to call them. Custom bespoke plans for the top 1, maybe 0.5% of your donors. So the top 5 or 10, maybe 20 donors. It depends on your staffing. First of all, there's a difference between custom and personalized. So that's a very big difference that you need to understand. We have webinars on the topic. We also can come and help you ideate on it, but it is really a custom. So I find 9 times out of 10 that when we go to do top donor engagement plans, that the biggest barrier is that we don't know our donors well enough. So I start by having them answer all of the deep dive questions, and you can find our deep dive questions in the book, The 4 Pillars of the Donor Experience. You can also find them in our course on donor relations. But you want to create a custom experience for them, not a standard, personalized experience. So the information becomes power there, and then you need to find somebody, Iris, at your organization who's an ideator, someone who is an expert at coming up with ideas, and then you need a project manager to see them through. So yeah. That's really great. Karen, we just took down all the old recognition, transitioning to digital photos, interactive displays. It has not been pain-free. Change never is pain-free. Change never is pain-free. And sometimes people have emotions tied to inanimate objects. So, it's really, really interesting there. So, Maureen, anyone willing to share their post-campaign stewardship plan? Looking for creative ideas and inspiration in a COVID precautions world. People ask me for plans or strategic plans all the time, and looking at someone else's plan really, Maureen, as much as you might think it will help you, if it's not a well-written strategic plan and it's just a list of tasks, then it's probably not going to help you the way you think it does. Instead, think about doing a good, better, best assessment of your program. Think about having some Zoom calls with peers and aspirants. But I don't know that looking at a plan without a lot of context, I can send you a plan from a university, but if they have 15 staff and you have 2, what's the plan? And what works for some donors? So just be careful out there benchmarking with a whole plan. Just worried for you there. I don't want you to get disillusioned. So happy to help. Abby, hosting a virtual donor recognition event for donors in January. We plan to share the impact from the past year, do some recognition call-outs for specific groups, a donor highlight, thoughts on other pieces to include to make this recognition-themed virtual call engaging and inspiring. You need a narrative. You need, and I hesitate to use this word because I don't want anybody to misinterpret it. You need a theme. And by theme, I don't mean one night in Paris, like it's prom, but you need something that's going to tie those threads together. So what is the story arc? So Abby, a year, especially a COVID year like 2020, a lot happened in 2020. Like somebody said to me, it's September. And I was like, I'm still getting used to being 2021. Like things are just, time and space is just, I don't even live in America right now. Like it's just super weird for me right now. And there are others that feel the same way. So what is the thread of narrative that's going to weave through? What are those things that you're going to talk about? And also, I recently watched a donor event, and it wasn't engaging enough. It was basically a TV show, but not a good one. It didn't have an MC. It didn't move me through. It was just a bunch of videos and talking heads. And so I really want you, Abby, to think about, you got call outs, but like, what's going to make the program move? What's your moments of surprise and delight? Like, what's going to keep me engaged? We started today, and I asked everybody, what are they binging lately? Like not TV, hopefully not other things. But what are you watching? What are you glued onto? And so if you think about it, what's going to keep me there? What's going to, excuse me, I didn't yawn at myself, but like, what's going to keep me engaged with the programming? And it can't be that I just love your organization. So if you think about a story arc, and if you need help with a story arc, Pixar, best storytellers in the business, right? So you've got this story arc, you've got a challenge you had to overcome, and then you've got the end, and then it kind of gets tied up. So what's that story arc? What's the journey that you're going to take me on, Abby? And what is that going to be like? Sheila, my friend, has recommended clickbait. Apparently, I've got to get on it because, oh, and the guy's going to blow leaves right outside my window, just like he does every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Hear that? They are working hard out in the heat. I don't want to do it, so I'm glad I have people to do it. So does that help, Abby, unpack that a little bit? And if you're going to highlight donors, make sure they aren't all homogenous, and make sure that they aren't all big donors. So somebody who made their first gift, somebody who's been giving, consecutively for year after year after year. So, let's just be really thoughtful about who we showcase and how. So, again, shorter is better. Shorter is better. So, just something to think about. What else? What else have you got for me? I know we just did rapid fire, like blah, 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 blah. Did I miss a question from anybody or a statement? I hope I didn't. I've been trying. I try to keep up. Sometimes the comments come from all directions. So I love it. I love the interactivity. But sometimes I miss something, and I want to make sure that you don't feel left out. So let's see. Okay. Yes, Maureen, good, better, best. So you need to categorize all of your efforts into one of the 3 pots. Good, better, best. Is this the best so that we can do? So that's kind of how I, yeah. What is free will, Kevin? Can you, let's see, I'm going to Google it. I'm scared if I Google free will, what's going to come up. Oh, the writing your own will, like that. So that's really interesting. So that's really interesting. More, if you're using it for will services, that's interesting, Kevin. Lauren, there are so many emotions people are experiencing right now, all in like 3 minutes, by the way. I mean, like I have a range of emotions in like 5 minutes. Yeah. Other than hope, what's another feeling to engage? I'm going to put that question out to the audience as well as ask it for myself, because we're all different. And so let's think about other emotions. I do think grace and compassion, Karen, are fantastic. And I would love a popsicle right now. I don't have any popsicles. What is wrong with me? And we'll circle back to free will so we can talk about that. I love this idea. But what are our other emotions that our donors want to act on? Power. I will tell you, respect. For me, when Ida hit, one of the things that I did is I made a bunch of donations because I felt like, kind of the world was spinning out of control. And one of the things I could do to help right that ship is make it feed some people. I gave to World Central Kitchen. I gave to Team Rubicon. I gave to Second Harvest. Empathy. You're right, Maureen. The word I'm looking for is empathy. Yeah. Empathy, respect, empathy. Respect is good, Nancy, because one of the reasons I keep discouraging people from having in-person events is because I respect the healthcare professionals who are stuck treating all the people in the hospitals. I want them to have a day off. I respect, medicine and science. So I respect other people, but it's hard because then they say, well, shouldn't you respect my right to not get vaccinated or my right to gather? Like, so it's interesting. So, oh, Carla, keep referencing what our world history has achieved and survived. I do think positive vibes are needed, even if it's a simple, community and unity, even though Alexis, I think, people are more divided than ever. But I think if you can find a community in there, and a lot of people are saying that, what do we have in common? What are the values that we share? I think an emotion that I have been feeling at times is gratitude. Even though everything isn't perfect and times are tough, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the things I do have. I'm grateful for the health I do have. So, shared identity, Maureen, is really interesting. I agree with you, Kevin. We want to meet people where they are while keeping the donor the hero. And we mean hero in terms of that a donor can help us solve these problems, not that donors are better people than those who don't give. So I want to be clear about that, you know what I mean? We're not necessarily saying you're a better person. We're really saying, that generosity is something that we can all get behind. So maybe the other thing that I'm thinking about and feeling, to answer your question, Lauren, is that generosity, no matter what, generosity wins. Kindness wins, kind of thing. Tamara, resilience. Lately, I after watching Ida, especially in the Louisiana part where Louisianans are just so resilient, and then now having watched lately a bunch of 9/11 documentaries on September 11th, I think about the resilience of the human spirit, and I think about, like, hopefully this will be a memory, but I think about that resilience in all of us, and some of us, and in many of us, it waxes and wanes. Some days I'm having a good day and I feel like, all right. And then other days I'm like, but someone else is resilient so that I can take a break, which is kind of cool, right? Right? Yeah. Helpers, champions. Yeah. Yeah. Like I was just talking about, Carla, you just hit on it. They champion our success with the lift. I feel like on days when my body is tired of lifting, or my soul or my spirit, I have other people who come in and help with the lift. And I think that's really cool. I think it's part of the human condition. And I think it's also part of self-care, is knowing when your body's tired, physically or mentally, and saying, I just need a break. I need a day. I need some time to not do the heavy lift. Lauren, that's a really good message. Whether you're okay or you're not, we're here for you. Yeah. 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 Oh, Maureen's dropping Nelson Mandela quotes. I love it. Sandy says, we're talking about our school's resilience. Your giving has greatly benefited our students, and it allows us to be increasingly resilient and innovative in a rapidly changing environment. The other thing I think about that is, if we don't have generosity, if we don't shine a light on the good that people are doing, on the little acts of kindness, on, the little moments of fun, then the younger generation doesn't see how we can overcome this, how, it feels like sometimes it's the end of the world, but it's not. And we persist, and we do more than survive, So I remember at the beginning of this year, every year I choose a word, and we've had this conversation about what, our words are for the year. And this year I chose thrive. And we're not just surviving, we need to embrace thriving. And so, you know what? Speaking of thriving, I got an email the other day from my dear friend. He's not my dear friend. I wish he was my dear friend, but I kind of feel like he's my dear friend. Adam Grant, who y'all know I absolutely am obsessed with him. And he has a new TED Talk out, and I'm going to find it. It's How to Stop Languishing and Start Finding Your Flow. So I am going to paste that here for you all. Here is Adam Grant's new TED Talk. So hopefully you'll be able to watch it and see. So there is his new TED Talk. Hopefully you can see that. I'm gonna watch it. I am up to write this week's blog. Ashley's probably rolling her eyes at me right now because I haven't done it yet. And I won't do it until tonight / early in the morning. Hi, Ashley. I'm here. I'm surviving. And so I might write my blog about that, or I might write about giving during Ida. I'm not sure, but I want to watch it so then I have some things to noodle on. So Tamara, you watched it? Check. Oh, I love his podcast. Oh, his podcast is everything, but I get his weekly emails. I mean, I'm obsessed with Adam Grant. So obsessed with him. Like he can do no wrong in my world. So Peggy, we have had about 30 constituents become, okay, so let's talk about free will. So Kevin and Peggy both have adopted Free Will, which looks like it's an online service that allows people to easily and quickly create a will and also name a charity as their beneficiary. Peggy says we've had about 30 constituents become new partners or update their planned gifts. We've had at least that many take advantage of the service and not name the college in their wills. That's okay. You know, I often say to people who are in the university college space, you know, what have you done for me lately? What's the value of my degree as I get older? And if providing education on, estate planning is one of those things, that's a fantastic service that you're offering them. Texas A&M has one of the best planned giving programs, I think, out there. And they have this whole toolkit. It isn't as simple as Free Will, but it's this whole toolkit. And like, I literally have had it sent to some people I know because it walks you through planning, estate planning, end of life planning, that kind of thing. And I think it's really good. So Linda wants to know about the pricing on Free Will. I don't know. And by the way, we're not affiliated with Free Will. It was just something that was brought up just for transparency's sake. So nobody thinks we're, on the take from Free Will. So yeah, I don't know about the pricing. I'd be curious about it. Maybe Kevin knows since it was probably made it a central, kind of decision-y kind of thing. So, oh, there you go. Email Kevin and he'll give you all the information, Lindy, I gave you a new name. You can also send it to us, Kevin, at info@, and we'll get it out there. And he's got his email. He's also looking for an assistant director of development, Kevin is. So we're trying to help. If you have any gigs, we'd love your gigs. We have had really great success with our gigs board. And so we just are out there. Thanks, Lindy. And our gigs board is really helping people find jobs, find great candidates. I'm sure Ashley will post the link if you want to post a job or if you know of one. So yeah, we're out there helping people. So happy to help you find your folks. Find a network of folks, vet them. Peggy said some of the attorneys in our alumni base has a bit of a negative feedback about it. Peggy, name me a time when an attorney hasn't had negative feedback about anything, if you know what I mean. So I kind of will take that. I will take that with a grain of salt. Yes. So, okay, we will post, Morocco, we'll post the link to the gigs and you can just go and purchase your posting. And we are having great success in helping people. We're actually going to do a survey soon and show people that. So yeah. So we love to help people. We've noticed a lot of openings recently. So we're here to help you fill your openings, find you the right people. And if you're on the hunt, we also have tons of postings, and we're here. We have executive coaching available as well. Angie does amazing executive coaching. So, and Kevin's right. Even attorneys will say it's better to have any will than no will. But Kevin, as I know very well, as you know anyway, very well, give attorneys anything to complain about, and they will. So don't, turnover, Carly, you're correct. I didn't want to, dampen everybody's day, but right now we are facing the Great Resignation. We are facing a huge swath of retirements, early and planned. We're also facing at the assistant and associate director, not the leadership level, not the entry level, but the mid levels, as I call them, the doers. It's huge. It's huge, huge, huge. The amount of turnover. And some places are struggling, and I think a lot of them are struggling because they went back into rigid, it must be in person, blah, 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 blah. So yes, you do promote from within. You grow your own, Kevin. So so that is really important. But yeah, it's hitting our industry hard. It's also hitting the restaurant industry. It's hitting lots of different industries hard, but it's very hard for us when there's transferable skills competing with companies that are paying more and allowing 100% remote work. I just got an email from a friend that works at Charity Water, and Charity Water is going to 100% remote employees for all their postings now and in the future. And I think they're going to have top talent, and the rest of us are going to be, sitting there, sitting there without preparation. So also remember, if you do lose a staff member, if you do have work, you can outsource it to us. So we do everything from acknowledgement letters to gift agreements to impact reporting. We do endowment reporting. I'm not pimping myself. Yeah, we are. But we can do all that work for you. We assimilate ourselves as a member of your team. We come in, we work on contract. We've had so many successful engagements that way while people look for the right person. And also we can train people who are green, who need training. So we do offer outsourcing. We have lots of clients on outsourcing right now who say, I can't find anybody right now, but I need a competent donor relations professional. And we've got them. So we've got folks that can fill in the gaps for you in the donor relations, communications, stewardship land. So if you need somebody, that's what we're here for. So I want to end today by saying thank you to all of you. I know we just had Labor Day here in the United States and Canada, for all the hard work you do on behalf of your organization. It is not lost on me that a lot of us are working really hard and doing so because we believe in the field that we work in. We believe in the work that we do, and the work that we do matters. And so I encourage all of you to find a spark of joy this week, to maybe for the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday, start the day by saying one thing you are grateful for, or telling someone you're grateful for them. I'm grateful to each and every one of you that join, that ask questions, that engage, that talk about TV shows and Doritos and all those important things. And so we're here to support you guys. Oh, Kevin, we're here, and we're here to help at any time. So from me to you, I'm just so grateful. So if there's anything we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask. Me and my team are here to support you, to give you that spark of joy, to do anything we can to help you, support you in this amazing work that you do, to uphold and uplift those people and help us solve the world's biggest problems. So always going to be here. So thanks, everybody, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.